So I'll tell a little bit of my story and how I got to where I was. I grew up, it was good up until I was about 10, and then I got a stepdad. And we didn't see eye to eye. Lorene knows because she was there for part of it when I was a little older. And, you know, things like I could do 99 things right and one thing wrong. You know, I could be the perfect kid, but do one thing, and I was always a free thinker and always went where I wanted to go or went where I felt to go, and that did not go well with military rule. So, if I would forget to clean the lint filter out in the dryer, I would be picked up by the back of the shirt and the back of the pants, and my head would be smashed into the dryer 3 times. So, at a very early age, I learned. I had this wonderful childhood when I was little, but when I became a teenager, things got really unfair really fast. And I ended up pregnant when I was 14. And I didn't know. I was 8 days pregnant. Back then they didn't have the, you know, the tests like they used to. And it was Halloween night. And I decided, what a better day to take myself out. Mom was gone, my brothers were gone, everybody was gone. So I put on my music, took a whole bunch of pills, leaned back on the couch, and I was going out. I was done. And this voice, as clear as mine, said, Raylene, you can't kill yourself, you're pregnant. And I just shook it off. And again, the voice came. Raylene, you can't kill yourself, you're pregnant. Well, that changed everything, because I could take myself out, but I could not be responsible for another human being. You know, so I always tell my daughter, you saved my life. So life got really, really rocky, and I ended up, I did a stint in the church. And then I got to the point where I went to church one day, and I knew I wasn't home, right? I knew I wasn't home. And I went through a few dark nights of the soul. But I was taught to listen, to hear that voice, right? Like when my first husband left me and I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? I can't even give you directions to my house. I have to call to town to get to my house, right? Because I didn't know the directions. I didn't drive. I lived in the middle of the country. And finding out that my husband cheated on me, and I confronted him, and my whole being just fell. But right at the bottom of the fall, there were these arms. And my first instinct was, I've got to go, I've got to run away, I have no family here, there's nobody, I'm all by myself. Right? I can't stay. And this voice, I need you to stay. Well, I knew that voice well enough, and I knew to listen. But I'm like, well, if you want me to stay, you have to make it bearable. Because he not only ran off with me, but he bought this house and ran off with the woman who owned the house. Right? So it was, and he did make it fairly easy. You know, and I ended up meeting my husband. And when I look back, I can see, oh, yes, this glorious, wonderful plan. So anyways, we'll fast forward up to, I'm working at Staples. We have the retreat last year. I know in my heart I have to leave, right? And I'm quite happy to leave, but it's a paycheck even though the pay is really crappy. And I know that my husband has to leave work because either he leaves work or he's going to die. Right? But in my heart I knew, but of course we have all this stuff going on upstairs going, oh, you can't. So we went to the retreat, and Kathy said the most wonderful thing to me. She said, if you're not happy, then just leave. She just made it so easy, and I'm like, you know, you're right. We're gonna review that when I get home. I'm gonna go look at that. So I did. So I got home, and I was sitting in the bathroom having a cigarette and a coffee because it's the only place in the house we smoke. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at this. You know, because I'm in my heart, right? And I know I'm gonna leave. So, okay, the conflict is in in my mind. So where is staying at Staples? Where is staying at Staples? That's in the left side of my brain. Well, that makes sense because that's money. It's a paycheck. It's steady. That really is quite logical. And where is coming home and editing? That's in the right side of my brain. Timeless side doesn't compute time. This side processes, logical, analytical, you know, facts and figures is very important. We need it so much. This side of the brain, timeless, creative, everything. So I could understand, this makes sense. So I thought, well, what if, you know, what if? And that's where, you know, God says to be like a little child, right? What if? So I thought, what if I take editing and staying at home and put it in the right side of my brain? So I went, oh, well, that's kind of, that doesn't feel too bad. That's pretty okay. So what if we take Staples and put that in the right side of our brain? And I went, oh my God. The pain, the headache that I got instantaneously was so bad, it dropped me. Never freaking doing that again. And I left it, but I obviously knew, okay, I gotta leave, so I did. And I finished my last day of work, and Lorene showed up and surprised me. And she came over with this little tiny bottle of champagne, so I brought my little tiny wine glasses, and we sat on my bed, and we talked till 1 o'clock in the morning, and a lot of our stuff we were talking about was left and right brain. And so she leaves at 1 o'clock in the morning. I go to the bathroom to have my coffee and cigarette. Yes, I believe Source lives in my bathroom. It lives everywhere, but yeah, that's a good meeting place, right? And so I was thinking, I remembered this lesson, so, you know, that I learned about flipping things. Well, move thoughts, you know. So where is my husband in my brain? He's right here. Okay, where is this person? Where is that person? And I noticed if they weren't where I wanted them to, I could just move them.
But how do you know which side they were on, or which side they thought they were on if they were a human?
Okay, well let's play with this for a second. Okay, so everybody close their eyes. So let's close our eyes. So I want you to think of somebody in your life that you love, but you're having conflict with. And I want you to put your finger on the point that they are. They'll probably show up from ear to ear, but they may show up in the back. And I want you to put your finger so that I know you found them. They're there. Close your eyes. Find somebody. Find Alicia. Kevin. Just find her and put your finger on where she is. I'm going to wait until everybody's... Okay.
Does that have to be somebody I'm confident with?
Well, it might work better. Okay, where's Becca? Okay. All right, so everybody's got it. Okay. So now open your eyes. Okay. Okay, now everybody who has somebody, no, keep your finger there. Okay, everybody who has somebody in front of their ears, I want you to move them right to center. Okay, move that person to center. Okay, does anybody have them in the back of their mind? Anyone have anybody in the back?
Yeah, on purpose, so you could tell us what to do with it.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. So, Kathy, move that person down. Okay. Move them over. There. Okay. So everybody has. If you're up a little high, move them right to the middle. Kevin, you're right. Can you move her down? Mm-hmm. You got her down. So everybody's sitting in the center. But Lorene has a lovely situation. Now, you would think if she's got that person here, well, we'll just move it past the ear this way. It doesn't work. You'll get a huge headache. You don't want to go there. Move the person from the back, around the back of your head, and right up to front. And they will move so nice and so easy. Okay. Christine, you want to throw them just in your forehead there? Keep going. right on center. I know you're resisting. It's okay. It's not so bad. Okay. There. All right, so everybody's got everybody at center. So wasn't that neat? You actually moved a thought. Did you know that? Did you know that you could do that? I never knew you could. I'm like, wow. So I called Lorene and we totally screwed ourselves right up for a day.
You're moving a file folder, by the way. Maybe a filing cabinet when you move somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we were, like, I decided I was going to move money, right? So it took me 15 minutes. If something doesn't move very quickly, right, like within probably a minute, really kind of dig into it and find out what is actually there. Because I went and moved money. I fought with that thing. It was sitting here. I fought with it for 15 minutes to get it over here.
How do you know what side it should be on? Because I don't
Yeah.
focus much on the brain, the right and left brain.
We'll go into that a little bit so
Okay.
that you'll understand it. So I moved it to the left side, or to the right side, and had this horrible, horrible headache. And then when I laid down to go to sleep, all of a sudden I had this, like a strobe light show of over and over these flashes of images. And I realized as I'm watching this, because I'm going, what is this? And I'm realizing all the programming, all the everything that I'd ever been programmed with to do with money was being very, very much deleted really quickly. And I was getting these flashes of very vivid images, you know, and things like that. So that was really neat. So then, okay, so for how would you know, right? Okay, well, this side of your brain, your left side of your brain, processes information.
Right. So that's the logical side.
That's the logical side.
Right.
It computes in time, it understands math, it understands logic, all those things. So a good example of that is abuse. I had abuse sitting in the right side of my brain. Well, I'm still a victim then, right? Because it's timeless, I'm still abused. So once I moved it over to the left side, my mind was like, oh, well, yes, I can process that, file that away, and it's logical, and that was a long time ago, and blah, blah, blah. Gone.
Because I know there's two, one side is logical and the other side is
Creative.
yeah, I always get them two mixed up.
It's creative, yeah. Does anybody here know if they're left or right brained? Or left and right brained?
I'm
Right.
equal. I think I'm
I'm
a
right.
bit of both.
I'm
Yeah.
very right. I'm very right.
Very right, yeah. So it doesn't matter because being left and right brained is just the way you process information, how things resonate with you, whatever. But the whole point of this is that as soon as you move a thought, guess what you've done?
Shifted energy.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you've shifted energy, but you know what else you've done? You've woken your brain up. A house divided against itself will fall, right? You've just reminded your brain that, oh my God, we were meant to be one. And the more that you go through this and the more you do this, you will feel your brain literally light up and you'll feel stuff. Instead of spinning out, you know how we all spin out in our head? That doesn't happen anymore because we have communication now.
But you said the right side is what you were thinking of with money. Or did you shift it to the right side?
I moved it to the right
Put it
side.
to the right
Right,
side.
so
Right side's
logical is where the
logical,
money is
left
when you're
side's what?
processing it.
Yeah.
I thought the left side was logical.
Yeah, the left side is logical.
The left side?
Yeah.
Okay, can we straighten out what is left and what is right-sided?
Sure.
Because some of us
I
are,
read it twice.
because-
different ways.
because we made a little flip in our brains here.
Okay.
The left is, no, you go ahead.
Oh, the left is logical, analytical, mathematic, time, okay?
So an easy way to remember that is L, left, L, logical.
Yeah,
L,
so
logic.
L equals logic.
Right. So then
Okay.
does that change? Are you left or right?
No, it doesn't,
So
no,
you
no,
didn't-
that
you got
that
it.
has,
Okay.
if you're left or right in your thinking, it's just the way you process information. It has nothing to do with this lesson so
right.
much, or how you can move thoughts or anything. It just has to do with your thinking pattern and how you process information. And if you want to learn, you can just go online, take one of the really cool tests. And it's kind of fun.
Okay, good.
There's other one of the issues with like, people with ADHD. I know there's other issues with chemicals, but
if you're
Left
very right brain, think very quick, right? So
Mhm.
is that kind of one that might cause one of those issues as well? Like
Yeah.
add to it, and you know.
Oh yeah, and well, because see, your mind spins, and especially if you're ADD or whatever. Like for me, I can't take antidepressants. Let me tell you, I was a pretty depressed person, and I can't take them because when I take antidepressants, my mind would spin.
Suicidal.
Oh, not even suicidal, because now I have children. Remember,
Right.
I have a purpose. I cannot take myself out because I am now responsible for other people. Source made. Sure. Well, we'll just give her 5. You know.
Damn sure.
That's right. You ain't leaving.
You got 5 kids, Raylene?
Yes, I do. Well, I have 6. We lost a baby, but yeah, I have 5. Well, I have 6 actually. Yeah. So yes, it's kept very busy. So okay, so we've realized we've moved thoughts. Once we move thoughts, we now have our brain remembering I was made as one. I am one. I can communicate, right? I can pass stuff back and forth. And it had been a long time since I'd been in science class and looked at the brain, because I would feel this band just light up with frickin' energy when I was learning something, right? And so I went online and I looked up all the parts of the brain. It was really cool because, you know, from here to here, yeah, well, that made sense. And then this little band. There's actually a band in the brain that sits right here, right?
Motor strip.
Yeah.
The what, sorry? The motor strip.
Motor strip, yeah, yeah, and it just fires. So you'll start to feel the electricity and the energy in your brain, and it's like, it's so cool. So anyways, after that, I was learning about that, but I was still really camped out in my heart, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I'm like here, right, and I can move thoughts, and we'd always bring back to center, you know, come back to heart, and everything. But I felt like, you know, and I'd play with my chakras, and I'd ting them and everything, and it'd feel all great. But a lot of times, I sit right here. This is where I sit, okay? And I started to think, well, I can really feel myself here. But we were made to be whole. We were made to be one. So there has to be, spirit has to be connected to mind, I mean, of course, and mind has to be connected to physical, right? We are, if we are one, then we truly are one. There is no, we are one, right? So I caught myself I caught myself in ego, right? And, you know, I had this guilt because it was in my ego and everything, but I remembered that this pride, right? This pride, and I could, and it was after the fact, okay? So I felt this pride, and it had a feeling, and I knew it had a place, like it had a position within me. So then I was like, what if next time that triggers that you could go, hey, and we could take a snapshot of that and figure out where it lives and what it feels like, okay? So sure enough, didn't take very long. Boom! And it was so cool because I got in this and all of a sudden, boom, and I went, freeze frame. Oh, there it is. It lives right here. And it has a distinct feeling, right? So that was really cool because then I could give pride, that pride side, I call it. It's this side. For me anyways, right? This side here. So the pride now had a feeling. So then when it would come up, I could catch it just by that feeling. Oh, there it is. Sweet. Right? Well, not a couple days later, and tap. Oh my goodness, I'm sitting in this pity party. Freeze frame. What does this feel like? Where does this sit? And it was really freaky because it sits right behind where I sit. Mm-hmm. Like a mimic. A mimic, right? So it's like, oh, okay. You know, so starting to kind of pick up on that ego, right? That ego. And for ego, what I do is because anytime I feel fear or any of that wonderful...
Negative ego.
Negative, yeah, negative ego. I apologize, Kathy. Negative ego. Anytime there is fear or anger or any of that on that wonderful list that Kathy has, if you feel any of that, for me, what I do is I just go, I don't know what this is. I don't have the tools to deal with this. Would you deal with this? End of discussion. It's already done, right? Now, I may have to say that 20 times in about a minute, because this is, you know, it's like a layer of an onion, like with Sima, when Sima was doing all this, right? Breaking down the layers of that onion to get it to the point where you could get, you know, okay. And then when you're centered and you feel okay, right? It also works with pain, because what is pain? Pain is a distraction, right? Pain is an illusion, and pain is not real. And I know that, you know, I've had pain, right? Too, and I know it feels really real, but it's not. If you've got a sore ankle, what do?
Limp.
Yeah, you limp. But what do you do if you want to fix it? You go to the cupboard, you grab some Tylenol, you take it.
Ice and
Yeah, but if you take some Tylenol, what does the Tylenol do? Does it go to your foot and say, hey foot, you need to feel better? No, where does it go?
Interferes the signals.
my brain.
It interferes with the signals. Well, guess what?
Pain's a symptom.
Yes,
You need the
pain
cure.
is a symptom. So when you have pain, I challenge you next time to say, I don't know what this is. I don't have the tools to deal with this. Would you deal with it? Right? The other thing you can do if you want to explore it deeper, another thing.
So are we directing, sorry, just for clarification, redirecting that statement to higher self, source?
Yeah, source. You know, because I say, I don't know what this is. I don't have the tools to deal with this. Would you deal with this, God?
Okay.
Right? So yeah, and the other thing you can do is if you want to, because sometimes because if we had to sit here and process all the information that's been programmed into our bodies, we would be here for 1 billion years, right? We need miracles, and we need them really quickly and really fast, and basically that's what it is a miracle. When it's gone instantly, that's a miracle. You just spent time and space, okay? Now, sometimes you have to learn a little bit more, right? Or you have to have a little bit better understanding. And how I learned connection was, Source showed me, if I have a pain in my arm, okay, I feel that pain in my arm. Okay, where is that in my brain? Oh, yeah, okay, it's here. Where is that in my being, in my spirit? Where does that need to connect to? Oh, yeah, okay, right there. And then I draw a triangle, right? And it's funny too, because working with my husband, he was my big experiment guinea pig for this. And he'd be like, it's like throwing a grappling hook and I keep slipping off of it, right? Like sometimes, right? So if you go from the pain to because your spirit is never going to let you down, right? So, and it can throw up really. So you get that triangle. And then you ask, would you deal with this, God? And feel that energy flow.
So connecting mind, body, spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
Connecting
Connection.
mind, body, spirit, right? So then it's cute when I'd work on my husband because he'd do that and he'd be like, you could just see him and he's like, you know, he's just, and I'm like, honey, you don't have to sit there. You can like come back to your heart and, you know, just, no, it's cool what's going on up here, right? You know? Yeah. Because, and you pay attention to it and you feel that. And there is nothing. See, with Christina, she brought up a lot of the things, and you know, but you know what? Everything out here is perception, right? It's all perception. And when you're in your negative ego, your perception is always skewed.
Yep.
Always. You can never perceive anything in negative ego properly, ever. Why? Because it was built on fear. The only thing, because you know, some of the stuff Christine brought up was pretty scary, and I know I've been there, and it's like getting hit with a truck, right? But I've learned there's only one enemy in this entire universe. Nothing else is ever going to attack you, ever, except for your negative ego. That is the only thing we battle against. And when you realize that, things like, I love that spot on yours where it says, this is easy, right? This is easy. It is. It's easy. And once you start to do that, once you start to come against this, you'll notice that it becomes almost like a little bell goes off. Oh, yeah, I caught you, yeah. I don't know what this is. I don't have to deal with that. You know, right? And once you can start doing that, then all those things will break down. When we project rather than extend, when we extend, we heal. So if you're sitting there across from somebody who is, you know, really angry or whatever, and you're like, oh my goodness, you want to get mad and punch them, you know, just kind of take a deep breath, go, I don't know what this is, I don't have to deal with this, should you deal with this guy? You're now in your whole mind. You only have to be in your whole mind. They don't have to, just you, for healing to take place. Because you can perceive them as attacking or crying for help, right? And we do create everything. The way that we perceive, if you wanna live in your, like, what is in, like, what is up is, what is above is below.
As about to be, yeah.
Yeah. What is in is out, and what is out is in. So if you see something outside that kind of scares you, look in here.
Yeah, macrocosm, microcosm.
I don't know what this is. I don't have the tools to deal with this. Because if you're in your ego, right, and your ego is like lashing out at something, you're going, well, I do know what this is. But what you know is past, right? Because this belief here, this perception, was created in fear. And it's created in past, and it's not sitting in now. And it's judgmental. So yeah, you know what? I don't know what this is. I don't have the tools to deal with this. Would you deal with this, God?
So Rayanne, if someone's in pain in front of you and say they're a non-believer, like most of, unfortunately, a lot of people are, or they don't believe in this crap or voodoo stuff, and you know, and they do have a headache, or they've injured their arm, whatever, and you tell them to say this, can you say it for them if they're a non-believer?
Well, no. Well, I suppose you could, because you know what? Infinite potential.
Yeah.
But what I found, because I know I had a hard time with that, well, if somebody doesn't believe, how am I supposed to tell them, right?
And maybe their pain is serving a purpose.
Yeah. But the other thing too that I do, if I come to someone who doesn't, because I do a lot of times, come up to somebody who isn't, you know, doesn't, but you know what? Guess what? The beauty of this is, that's me. Right there, that person sitting across from me is me. Is part of me. Is part of Source.
Because we're all one.
We're all one, right? So if I take and I extend, right? And, you know, they come at me, say they come in and I go, I don't know what this is, I don't know what to deal with this, would you deal with this, God? You've just made yourself a vessel to be able to heal yourself, right? Because only you need to be in whole mind. As long as one of you is in whole mind, the miracle will take place.
It's also mirroring too, right? Like, whenever I have a client on the table, it's a check for me. Like, have I dealt with my anger issues? Oh no, I haven't. So then I know what I need to work on, and that's the best way I can help them.
Yeah. And you're healing at the same time that...
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's my perception of what's wrong with them is what's wrong with me. That's what I'll see first.
Yeah, I remember learning that in Reiki about that. But you know, you typically have most friends and they come in, they all got a banging headache. Have you got any aspirin, Janice? No, we don't have it, but let me try this or try this. Oh no, just give me 2 aspirin.
Yeah, yeah. So does anybody have any pain?
But again, that's not taking
I
responsibility.
had a lot of
for
pain in
yourself.
my left shoulder.
Did you? You do right now?
It's still there.
Okay, so anyone else have any pain? Because you're...
My back's tight.
Okay, you're back. Okay, so anybody who has pain, I just want you to close, you know where the physical manifestation of it is. So close your eyes and ask where it is in your mind, and you're going to get a tingly. It's not going to hurt, it's going to be tingly.
Once you find it, this is neat. Because I did this a lot.
in the last couple weeks.
Okay.
Look, we've got no pain room.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Don't be funny, you.
Okay, so you found it in your, have you all found, put up your hand if you found it. Okay? Deanna, have you
No,
found it?
not yet.
Okay, we'll wait for Deanna.
Sorry.
No, don't be. Where is it residing in your brain, in your mind?
Can't think about it.
Okay. Where does it connect to spirit? Ask now where it connects to spirit.
I'm not sure what you mean.
What's that?
I'm not sure what you mean.
To your chakras? To your,
I don't know any chakras.
okay. Go to your heart. We'll just
That's the first, when you said that, that was the
okay,
first place I was going to
That's where
say.
we're going to connect it to.
Okay.
Okay? So now that you got all 3 spots, I want you to draw lines. And this will be really cool because you can actually feel them move from each point to each point. Now make a triangle. Once you got your triangle made, just put your hand up.
I thought the
What-
triangle
what
before I put the lines up.
points in spirit?
Well, connect it to both.
So you said the 3 spots. One's where the pain is, one where you're feeling it in the chakras. Where was the next spot, really?
In your
Mind.
mind. In your mind.
Where in your mind?
Mind, heart, and
Left
spirit.
or right side?
No, it doesn't have to be,
It doesn't
no,
need to be
no,
a-
it's
Oh, okay.
physical,
On
mind,
wrong.
one of your chakras, it'll usually line up.
Okay.
Does it matter what side of the brain do you have to
Oh, it
figure
doesn't
out?
matter, it can be anywhere, it can be like behind
It
your arm.
will show you which
It'll
side.
show you. So, and it'll come up just as a nice tingly feeling in your brain.
Another file.
You guys have gone way ahead, you already.
I just do like a snap.
Okay, so does everybody have their 3 spots linked up?
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing, Janice?
Yeah, but on my hand. Why is it on my left hand?
It's
Doesn't-
okay.
Don't ask why, just do.
Just do. Yeah, they're, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so do we got their triangles drawn? We've got all points connected?
Mm-hmm.
Ask, would you heal this? And pay attention to the energy moving.
Would you heal this guy? Hmm.
Feel very lightheaded and very peaceful. Yeah. But it wouldn't work last time.
Wait till I tell you. You are amazing. Because you are coming to all of this naturally. Your triangulations are an actual scientifically proven
Now,
method
when you
of
get-
visualization
when
for
you
color
get-
breathing.
I do this, like
I
said,
train
do this at
people
work,
in how to make triangulations just like
and
you
I don't
did.
close my eyes or whatever, I can visualize it.
It's already out there. And you're drawing it in
When
straight
I know
from
I've
source.
taken too many Tylenol or whatever.
She
and I
doesn't
don't
read
take
books. She
That's
is
what we're trying to create.
absolutely.
That's not all our books.
So does anybody want to share their, oh, we're still waiting for Tony. Awesome. Don't hurry, Tony, awesome. And then shake it down. So we'll start. Denise, did you have anything? Okay, Lorraine?
Oh, I was doing it actually yesterday when Kathy was doing hers too. When I caught some friction, I done that really quick.
Yeah.
But I find I just snap, it triangulates right away. I can feel the surge and I get this
Yeah, that's
like,
the other
head
thing.
shift and
Yeah, you can do that with friction too. If you're getting friction or whatever, you can do that like with the, I don't know what this is, you can use that for all of it. And the same with the connecting everything triangular and moving the energy. Did you?
Oh yeah, well this is a color breathing technique. I was telling Raylene that this is something that's in all of our textbooks as color therapists, is making triangulations
Wow.
between the pain, the chakra, and one other spot. where you feel it is. Like it's not specifically the brain, but she downloaded that from the universe,
And for
here we've been studying it for years. And so when I see the 3 lines, I see them in color like neon tubes of light. And so as the light, each one lights up as a different color. And then when you start to do the breathing and the handing over of it, then all the colors start to move, and then I know it's complete.
Okay, and I want you all, and I challenge you all to make sure that you find that spot in your brain. If you've got to draw an extra line, I don't care. But you need to find that point in your mind, because you need to realize the true function of that mind connected to spirit, connected to your physical body. You need to understand the vehicle in which you live in. And your mind is a huge part of it. And we have, I don't know about me, or you guys, but what I've seen, oh, don't go to your mind, it's a scary place, right, this, that. No, it's not. When it becomes one, and it is whole, and it is connected to source, and connected to your spirit, it becomes a very strong tool, right? Okay, so what was your experience?
I don't know where it moved to or whatever, but instantly it was like a flash, 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 and my whole side of my arm went totally numb. And I felt relief coming off my back in that spot. I don't know where it went.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck off.
Thank you. Yeah. And Dana, did you? No, you were just watching Rob. You were just.
I have to pee too badly, so
Okay.
I didn't want to get rid of that.
You should have just did that for
That
them.
might not have been healthy.
Justin, did you at all? Or were you just taping? You were filming?
No, I was doing it.
Oh, what happened with you?
I was from my back, and I just felt it kind of up in the top middle of the brain, and then linked it all up, and it just weird, like a little stream of water down through the body. It's cool.
Awesome.
How about you, Suma?
Well, I had pain in my knees and actually got worse because it's like, you can't do this, you know what it is. So I have to release a whole bunch of stuff out of it.
And you, Deanna?
I felt it move a little bit. My hand got very tingly.
Yeah.
And then my hand's still tingly. I still feel my shoulder a bit. But I'm still...
Sit the hell up. No, I'm just kidding.
I have a hard time finding things in my brain.
Okay, so
just getting used to that.
Okay. So, and where did it show up in your brain?
It was back here.
Just trust your intuition.
Yeah, don't think.
Yeah.
Don't think. There is no thinking.
Yeah, you think, then you think too much.
You won't find
and
it,
lose
Yeah.
Then you're in your conscious mind,
Yeah.
which tries to control it.
For sure. Yeah, and I think it's just getting used to that because this is very new to me. Because even when you did stuff last night, I had a really hard time pinpointing. And it is. It's like a tiny little spark. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I've lived a lot of my life where something has to be bold and huge for me to see it. So I'm just getting used to these. Just looking, oh, there it is. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of practicing it and using it.
Yeah, and just being, well, because we're like, well, we've been so blinded to feeling the energy and the, like you said, the electricity.
Yeah.
And your brain fires constantly, right? And the electricity moves. And when you start to feel files go back and forth, you're gonna be like, holy crap,
Yes,
there's
yeah,
a
I
whole
feel
other
that, yeah.
world. Yeah, but that comes with time. Like when I went looking for like my husband or whatever, it was like such a, like I really had to be like, there. So, yeah. How about you, Janice?
Well, when you said that, I didn't actually have any pain in the body. Not at that moment that you said, oh, I'm not aching anywhere, I don't feel anything. And I thought, well, I'll just go to the eye.
Yeah.
That's where the pain always is. But it's an ache constant. It's like a headache in the eye all the time. Well, I'll just go there. But I wasn't actually in pain with it when it said anything. It wasn't even aching. I thought, I'll just go there.
That's right.
So I connected it up and it went to the throat chakra, which quite surprised me. And I thought, oh. So the triangle was easy.
Yeah.
And I had all these pins and needles in my arm. I thought, oh, the tingling's out was a bit weird. But I felt the light was just so bright. Like, you know, you close your eyes and someone puts a light on you, think, oh, that's what it was like in my eye. And I thought, oh, that was a bit weird. But there was no real healing because it's a constant there.
Yeah.
So you just like, it's just a constant ache.
Mhm.
But then when we finished, I have now got an ache in the eye now.
Mm.
Which is a bit weird, but there you go. It's like a role reversal. There's nothing there, now it's aching. But that might be because
Made you think
something was there, maybe I did something.
Mhm. Well, or you could have said, but it didn't work. But there was no real healing. Did you hear your words that you used?
No.
Did you hear her words?
Yes.
You heard it.
What did I say? You have to repeat it back to me.
You said, but no healing took place. You asked God, would you deal with this? And then you right away said, well, no healing took place. See, our words are extremely powerful.
So I've just denied it.
That's right. So if while I'm talking to them, if you want to do it again.
But wasn't that a good lesson for everyone to hear that?
Yes, that was flipping awesome.
Thanks, Janice.
Thank you, Janice.
How generous of you.
I know. I spoke deliberately for you all.
That's right.
And my shoulder's not hurting. My hand's really tingly and my shoulder's completely gone
Okay,
now.
good.
How about you, Christine?
Weird.
We tried doing this before,
And we can do it.
and we actually had intervention
Yeah,
that said no.
yeah.
And so it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll do it again. And like I said, there was an extra point that wasn't there before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this time when I said this statement, I said, I've done enough that it's time to be done with this.
Yeah,
Now can we please heal this? Because I feel I'm really done with it.
yeah.
And I honestly can't feel anything right now, but the wash that came from head to toe, like I said, I'm like all lightheaded and just like this it was like somebody just hugged you, this big peaceful feeling.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Kevin?
I
You already do it all the time.
I do it all
You
the
already
time.
do it all the time. How about you, Tony?
Well, I put all the points together and I get it. I do it often. Too. Not like you do, I was pretty good with the points and the triangle. I should just take my pain and give it to Gaia and she converts it to positive energy and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah. So did you connect the triangle?
I did, and I got the healing. I always get a rush in my body.
Yeah.
Very numbing rush comes all the way up and
That's what I
very
got.
peaceful
And mine's from the top
right through,
down.
and I got that. So I did it again for my neck. That's what I was late.
That's okay. It's like, hey!
You're like,
I
yes,
love that
this
feeling, so I
again.
can just sit in
This
it.
again.
Like, oh, keep your drugs, man.
I know, and that's what, as I was going through this and learning this, I was thinking, nobody needs drugs. This is like the best trip I've ever been on. You know? How about you, Rita? Did you work on anything?
Well, my thumb, because I had a big wad of arthritis bothering it.
Yeah.
I didn't, first exercise and this one, but I guess because it's new, and I wasn't feeling any pings, any patterns, no triangles, no nothing. I was just really not connecting.
Do you want to try again?
However,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt.
Good.
So maybe I did something.
Your unconscious might have just done it
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I saw all kinds of windy colors and things going on. It just wasn't
Well, it was doing it for you.
mapping it out.
Is it really odd that yours wouldn't go A, B, C, D?
Yeah.
Yours needs to go like that.
That's right. We need
It's jazz hands.
Yeah, some of us are wing nuts,
Yep.
you know.
So do you constantly check in when you notice like if you're having a conflict or something and you notice something, you find that person in your brain, do you constantly, not constantly, but every now and then check in and say, okay, where are they?
Yeah,
If you're having
if
okay.
I'm having friction, like my son, I often have friction with him. And if I have friction with him, then I will check in, right,
Okay,
and
yeah.
and move that back. With my daughter, my two daughters, I have a lot of friction, but I can see them. It's a different kind of relationship, and I feel really bad because I you have to come at people with love, and I'm not talking about the light, airy, fairy love, but I'm talking about real love, the same love that Source gives to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he nudges, he, suggests, it's like when our kids, you can enable somebody or you can choose not to enable somebody, and we need to not enable.
So don't feel bad.
That's right, don't feel bad. So, like, there's been a couple times when my girls have just went right out, and I know they're in their ego, and I burst out laughing. I don't mean to, and I'm really trying not to. I'm sorry. You know, and then I can, you know, come back and go. And it's really cute because both Mandy and my one boy who's 18, I've said to them, because I know they've been sitting in ego, and I said, well, why don't you just say I don't know what this is, I don't have the tools to deal with it. Well, it won't work. Well, really, then what do you have to lose if you say it, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, but, and just leaving it kind of, you know, whatever, and they eventually come around. My one daughter, it was really cute because she's so stubborn. Mandy's so stubborn.
No.
And yeah, she's really stubborn. Has to learn lessons the hard way, like angelic 2x4s, like the side of the head. And so she was, I'm serious, yes. If anyone's heard my story from last night, what I was dealing with, I was like, whoa, okay. So, and with her, she's very confrontational, right? And so I was sitting there, I was very calm and everything, and I said, well, you know, why don't you just say that? And she, you know, well, it's not going to work. Well, if it's not going to work, then really you don't have anything to lose by trying it, right? Mm-hmm. And she's laying in the tub having a cigarette, right? And I'm sitting on the toilet. It's like my psychiatry
This is your smoking room?
Smoking psychiatry room, yeah.
That's my psychiatry room.
It's the place you get rid of shit.
Physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally.
We got one of those. It's a garage.
So yeah, and she's sitting there, and you know, finally I got her back. She was kind of, you know, she finally got back to neutral, and she, you know, was doing some meditation. All of a sudden, she burst out laughing, and I said, "What?" She goes, "God just told me I should listen to you a lot more often." And I thought that was cute because not 10 minutes ago she was very angry with me, right? So, you know, yeah. So, and that's all I have to say, and thank you for your time.
No, thank you.